Track from an album by Phantom Tollbooth called Beard of Lightning, and that song was called Mascara Snakes, and of course we played Beard of Lightning because there are two men with beards in the studio today who are the guests. That album was originally released in 19...
That's not a real beard.
The engineer's not got a beard.
Frankly, that's
you can't look at Daniel Kitson's beard and call that beard. That album was originally released in 1988 under as Power Toy, and then the vocals were just redone last year, and they completely erased the vocals and put Robert Pollard from Guided by Voices in, thus making an entirely new thing. And before that was a bit of Tim Burns' new album. Tim Burns playing in the London Jazz Festival in a couple of weeks, and so I thought I was going to get somewhere, and I chose the wrong one. And if we'd hung on for another 4 minutes, there'd doubtless have been some kind of explosion of fantastic improvisation between Tom Rainey on the drums, Craig Taborn on the Rhodes laptop, virtual organ, and Mike DeCret on the electric guitar. But with so many exciting guests in the studio, there isn't time for that. There isn't even time to explain what it might have been like, even though I just did it. So, Dan, I've seen you on record complaining about Phoenix Nights, and you did it here as well. Yeah. You don't want to get a name for yourself as someone that moans about things, that you were in.
Yeah, no.
That's what Stewart Lee did. Look at him, he now works in Resonance FM.
Yeah,
well, admittedly, I work in complete freedom.
It's a tricky thing, though, because I wouldn't have to constantly complain about it if people weren't constantly assuming that I was massively proud of it and asking me what Peter Kay's like, and I have to explain to them that he's a thoroughly obnoxious, bully of a man.
There's a thing up there. It says no airing of offensive opinions.
What? On the rules on opinions, though.
This station, we can play whatever we like in the realms of pure sound. We can't have you having an opinion about Peter.
Hang on. Ooh, Peter Kay! He's a bit of an obnoxious bully, man.
Well, if you sing it, that's all right.
Comedically lazy and overrated.
Okay, well,
there you go.
That's good. That would now count as that could probably go now on Clive Graham's Sound Poets Exposed slot at 6 o'clock.
There you go. But it's that thing of I don't want to be known for it, so I don't want to keep sort of.
Well, don't do it then.
No, I just only do it when people go, so you were on Phoenix Nights. I don't just want to go, I just go, yes, I was, but,
It's funny when you see his bum, when he gets out of the swimming pool, you see part of his bum.
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, there's no way around that. but it's just, you just have to, I don't want to be swept along in his bandwagon of nonsense. You sent me a text message about it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did send you it. Well, I thought you'd like it.
I did like it.
Well, I was thinking about it.
But I can't remember
what it was either. It was something about Peter Kay is the Dogma Films version of... I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember what it was.
Normally. Yeah. But it was about 4 in the morning, and I thought I'd had a really great idea. So I texted it to a few people.
Yeah, I like
it. It's a bit like that story about Paul McCartney being carried around on someone's back while on acid and thinking that and making Mal, his roadie, write down everything he said.
That's right, yeah.
It wasn't as bad as that, because all I did was texted a few people in the middle of the night. But if I'd been Paul McCartney and I'd had an idea about Peter Kay being like a Dogma Films version of someone else, I would have made a roadie write it down. As it was. I used texting technology. But would you like this news show, that a made-up story, to have a big audience and for loads of people to see it and like it, or do you think you're not convinced? No, you're convinced there's an inevitability that as soon as you get beyond a certain level, really, that's terrible.
I think I'm kind of. I mean, I think me and Stu are very similar to you. Again, when we were younger, I think neither of us would be doing the shows we're doing now, the Jerry Springer thing and Talking Cock. 10 years ago, we would have both have said no, we won't do that because that's an obvious idea. I think we'd have it's a commercial idea right at the outset. But I think the thing is then if you can do something interesting with the idea, I know what you're saying exactly, but I suffer from getting like 100. If I get 100 people at a gig, I'm delighted. So I'd quite like to have 300 people, even if 200 of them were idiots.
You see, that's probably the crucial point. Isn't it?
I think you can make it work, though. I think you can.
But it's just that thing of sort of partly because of the whole Phoenix Nights thing. I just have a massive sort of of distrust of anything remotely mainstream, and so sort of I'm just sort of like, I'd rather not be part of it. Like, sort of, if I can do stuff which I'm proud of, that sort of, some people come and see and like, then to a certain extent I'm quite.
No, I mean it is it is good to have that, and it is I think me and Stu, I think we've been lucky. We've always done what we wanted pretty much with it. We did Stab in the Dark. I think we would do that.
Channel 4, yeah.
We wrote
Stab in the Dark, really?
Yeah. But apart from that, I don't think we did.
I remember that.
I don't think we've, and that was very early on, and that was the first thing we ever got really paid anything like a surprising amount of money.
Stab
for.
in the Dark. Yeah, it was the opposite of this studio actually. The idea was that people would be brought on to air offensive opinions.
Wasn't it?
Tracy McLeod,
and
David Baddiel, and
Michael Gove,
who's now in news. He presents news about politics.
Who does? Mr. David Baddiel?
No, Michael Gove. Michael Gove had the most difficulty, really, with the whole thing because he wasn't a natural. He wasn't really a natural anything. Was he? But yeah. Well, anyway, we wrote about 2 jokes for that.
Nice. I remember watching that in my bedroom.
Yeah, well, when you were young. When you were
there
young.
you go. But that was probably the only thing we did for the money, I think, nearly of anything we did.
Yeah, but if that had become this ridiculous franchise with people sort of buying mouse mats with catchphrases on. If that had happened,
Michael Gove mouse mat.
then you would have to address it for a while and go, to be honest, that doesn't really represent, it's just.
No, but it's true. But they will go away. Those men will go away. The ones you don't like, and I think I think they will. But they will. But then
lovely thing to say.
I think they especially will if you deliberately do stuff that annoy them. But I think it is fine. It's finding your audience and just hoping they'll stay with you, I suppose. Yeah,
I mean, you had that with the reviews this summer, didn't you? On the publicity for this show, I've seen an advert for it, and it's 5 really good reviews and one saying subliterate. And then you're laughing now at that. you even want to shake off the Steve Jalbert from The Independent.
Yeah, well, he you see, what happened was I had the idea that we probably shouldn't let press in too early because it was going to take me a while to sort of learn how to do it, basically. And the person who had in charge of the PR and stuff, they had the great idea that they'd get all the press in on the first night. So it did split people really quite wildly. I'd got a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, and a 1-star. I did the whole thing.
That's good. That's like top trumps of reviews.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. But the 1-star review in The Independent, it weirdly didn't upset me at all. My girlfriend tracked it down and said, "Look, don't read it. It's horrible. It's really horrible." I just think it'd be fine. And I read it, and it didn't upset me at all. Sort of, because I expected it to be a show that sort of split people. But and also all his criticisms were really personal. He sort of
like what?
Well, it started off by going, every few years, there's such a huge disaster in the world of the arts that everyone talks about, and it's an absolute pleasure, and the sheer joy of watching Daniel Kitson be bad,
I remember reading it, and I thought it was really upset me actually because he sort of said he was delighted. He's a reviewer, he's a comedy reviewer, and to go and be delighted, even if he thought it was rubbish, which is fair enough, but to be delighted that it's rubbish because he'd fallen on your face. That seems odd for someone who should like comedy. Surely you should be. I'm disappointed that Daniel Kitson isn't very good this year. I'm delighted. Jealousy.
But sort of. What it was it was a whole, it was like really funny, because it was a whole half-page thing. It was like a big photo of me going, and a massive headline and 1 star, and it was just like, it was such a clear hatching job, and sort of right at the end of the review, he basically said, if you've not bought tickets yet, don't. If you have, then you should take along a good book, there'll be plenty of room to kip at the back. And that was it. So it was so clearly this hatchet job. And then 2 days later, I got a phone call from my agent going, we're not happy with ticket sales. We think we're going to do a 2-for-1 offer in the Independent.
Here's a track off the that new Fall album again. This is Ace. It's about a mythical, quasi-mythical European football team who destroyed Chelsea fans, Sparta FC.